Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Yeah. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel. Home of the BitSquad, largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. My name is Ben. We come to you live every single day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which, by the way, I was offended yesterday when in the chat before I came on, somebody said, it must be Ben today because they're late. So really appreciate that, guys. Means a lot to me. Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at another day, another person to hate, a person I've disliked for a long time. Elon Musk, we're going to be talking a lot about the fact that his company, Tesla, their Bitcoin sale at a loss, by the way, can pretty much be pointed directly at the big drop below support that we had, I believe, back in, I think it was in May or April, whenever that was. That's about when they supposedly sold their Bitcoin, sold 75% of their Bitcoin. And a lot of people, think that you get these corporations and these institutions that have iron hands, and they don't. They had already sold off 25% of what they had. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Are y'all angry? Are people angry about this? I know I was angry when he dumped the price about the environmental stuff last year. This doesn't surprise me at all from him. It went from he's the hero, he's going to buy Twitter, to like now he's not going to buy it, and now he sold his Bitcoin. Are you guys hot or cold on Mr. Musk? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Getting your thoughts and opinions on that. Keep up the chats. Or not up. I can't see the chats. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I need to see my chats. Those are my people. Chat's wild. It's King Solomon, who was on yesterday, man. He was answering questions on Twitter that you guys were asking in the chat about his TV. I love that.
That TV was awesome.
Yeah, he for nostalgia only. He's got a VCR. I mean, how can you blame the guy? So before we get going with CoinMarketCap, couple house cleaning items. Number one, we also have Crypto Wendy O on today, by the way. She will be on in about 10 minutes or so. Go to my Twitter. Of course, follow me on Twitter, as you can see here. What are we at now? 863.8 thousand. I got passed by like Carl and Chris and Altcoin Daily. I think Lark passed me. What, guys? Why can we not follow me on Twitter? That's a big question I have. I don't know. I think because I was barely tweeting for probably the best possible time to be tweeting and gaining followers, but it is what it is. I can't stay on Twitter 24/7. It's just a lot of work. But anyways, this is, I need to refresh this page. I got a pinned tweet right here. You guys go to my Twitter profile. We're giving away 2 tickets to NFT Expoverse. I'm going to be there. J-Chains is hosting it. It's going to be next weekend, the 29th through the 31st in LA. There's going to be a lot of people there, so definitely want to go check that out. We're giving away 2 free tickets. All you got to do is like and retweet this tweet and comment your favorite NFT project below. So, other thing I want to mention, don't forget to go to Hit Merch. We have a giveaway going on over there as well. You can enter that giveaway by clicking on this link tree right here and get the information in the first post. It's just at Hit Merch on Instagram. There's some of we have really cool clothes, except for the Cardano shirt, because apparently, as we now know, the Cardano community hates the phrase "hate a gang." They literally hate it more than anything you've ever thought about hating in your life. More than my wife hates stickers. That's right. The only time she ever slapped me was when I put a sticker on her. True story. She has a weird phobia about those stickers. So if you ever see her in public, don't try to put a name tag on her. She will not like that. But I want to talk about what our video was last night. Instead of our regular 9 p.m. video, I teased that we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the political world. I'm not running for office or anything like that at this point. I don't think I'm going to. Can you get that much more hate being a politician than a crypto influencer? I don't know. It's a tough question. But yeah, I don't think that's something I would want to do because politics, they just move way too slow for me. And it would drive me insane. However, we want to be involved on the lobbying side. We want to be involved pushing not just crypto, but pushing new investment laws that make things easier for everybody. You know, we told you guys that we were going to be kicking down the gates. We're storming the gates, kicking down the doors, removing the gatekeepers. That is what we want to do. We are tired of this traditional finance system to where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And it's by design, by our system. And how do they do this? Well, they do it through what's called being an accredited investor. Okay. So when you're an accredited investor, you get access to be able to invest in more kinds of instruments and tools than a normal person would. Just for instance, IPOs. And on the Coinbase IPO, now certainly wouldn't have been a good investment at this point, but that IPO, you could not get into it to buy the Coinbase shares unless you were an accredited investor. So the accredited investors are basically, there's one of two requirements. Either you have to basically go to school, become, I guess, the equivalent almost of a financial advisor. So you have the schooling down, that you can become an accredited investor that way. You can also become an accredited investor by having over $1 million at one time. And that's, to me, that's so crazy. Like, think about this. It's crazy that for being an accredited investor, you have to have a certain amount of money. Why is that crazy? Well, you can have a degenerate that spends all of his money on lottery tickets, that goes to a gas station one day and buys a $5 lottery ticket and wins $1 million. And now that person, forget about the tax implications. Like, let's just assume he gets $1 million in cash and puts it in the bank. That person is now an accredited investor. And that person can now invest in all kinds of other, investment vehicles that you can't, because you're not an accredited investor, even though you are probably way more responsible financially. You know way more about the economy and how things work in markets than that person does. But because they won money, now they can invest in whatever they want. That right there tells you exactly that this is not about protecting people. This is about making sure the rich stay elite and the other people get pushed down and don't get those same opportunities. So what we've done, we're starting with the state of California. This is SJR 16. This is basically going to be a bill. We wrote this bill. We are the sponsor of this bill. And we're starting in California. This kind of started with my trip out to Sacramento about probably 2 months ago or so. And what this bill is it is going to be knocking down the gates for accredited investors. So when this goes through, and I believe it will go through by the end of the year, we obviously have more states. We got exploratory committees in other states. And the whole thing here is we have to do this in multiple states. This is a multi-year battle, because we've got to get it in enough states so that the federal government, the Senate Banking Committee, allows the federal laws to change around accredited investors. So right now, this will only apply to California, and the federal rules would still kind of trump that. But the whole thing is to get it done in so many states that they have to change it. And we're opening up the world of investing to anybody. Now, how do you get access to be an accredited investor under SJR 16? Basically, all you have to do is take a free examination, a free test. It's provided by the state. All you got to do is go in, fill it out. And if you pass the test, you can now become an accredited investor. If you fail the test, you got to go hit the books more. And, some things that were brought up were like, well, what about people that maybe cheat? Like, maybe they can find out the answers beforehand. We can't be responsible for every person, their individual choices. But for the most part, we believe this is going to solve a lot of the inequality problems that exist between the two worlds of investors, retail investors and institutional investors, and accredited investors as well. So this is something that we definitely are going to be pushing big time, and we're going to want your support on it. There's going to be different times where we might ask you to do things, maybe retweet something about it. The more pressure we put, the better this is going to be. And, if you guys have any ties to politicians in your individual states, send them letters. Let them know that this is something that needs to happen in your state as well. And so this is when we talk about on this channel that we are about more than I'm coming on here and entertaining you. We mean that, and we put our money where our mouth is. So hope you guys enjoyed that video last night. Y'all are going to be hearing a lot more about this over the next few months. We're going to put out a tweet on Twitter. Best place to put a tweet.
Think so.
Here pretty soon, and make it happen. So is that breaking?
Yes.
Breaking news. We have breaking news. I can't see it now.
Oh, sorry.
Ex-Coinbase manager arrested in U.S. crypto insider trading case. Whoa, how about that? Wow,
Crazy.
we'll have to look at that story during the rundown at some point. So let's go ahead and jump in the markets real quick. We will cover that story here in a minute. I gotta go through this in 5 minutes so Wendy can come on. But basically, what's going on right now? We have 20,308 cryptos, but I thought 99% were dying in the bear market. But now we added almost 100 yesterday. Like, come on, guys. Oh, you guys understand the number of coins here is not really indicative of how many coins are alive on the market. Exchange is 499. That number keeps going down. We had a couple insolvent yesterday in Korea, I believe. Market cap 1.02 trillion, so we're barely hanging on. Volume down, but still pretty high comparatively to market cap, 90 billion. We got Bitcoin dominance at 42.1%, ETH dominance at 17.9%. I believe both of those ticked down 0.1%. Probably people moving over to stables. Because I can tell you, I do believe I've got a new trading indicator that I'm using and I'm looking at. We're about to get going again with trading on the channel. We're going to start showing you guys trades and stuff like that because it's that time. It's that time. It's time to show people that you can trade and you can win. And in addition to that, crypto is going to be pretty boring for a while. So let's spice it up with some trades and see what happens. And it was showing a very solid short, I think, last hour. So the price of Bitcoin has dropped down pretty considerably. It was, I think it topped out at 24, and now it's at 22.6. As you know, 22.5 is a very important support level. I think it did go below that at some point already. Ethereum back at 1,500, down about $100. BNB 258, XRP 35 cents, Cardano 48 cents. Look, Cardano still up for the week, 11%, and XRP up for the week as well. Most things up for the week. Let's look at the biggest gainers of the day. Cosmos, project we really like, Curved DAO, Pax Gold. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's only basically 2 projects that are not stable coins that are up. And we go look at the 7 days, see what's been popping. We got Lido of Lido Finance up 75%. You know, that's the one that Celsius and Three Arrows Capital broke by being degenerates and caused a lot of the Celsius problems. Ethereum Classic is up 67% for the week. Wow. Ethereum up 34%. Polygon up 32%. Polygon having a good week as well. Gnosis Thorchain, we got a lot of 30% pumpers, but you got to remember, guys, when you see a 30% pumper at this point, that doesn't mean much because of how much everything's already down. So that doesn't mean like it's suddenly on a breakout, it's going to run away. It just means that it bounced back from a bad week. So you got to keep that in mind. Somebody said something about Crypto Mason. I love Crypto Mason. I would love to have him on the show. We've invited him on. He said he will come on, but we haven't had him on yet. So go tell him to come on my show. We love Crypto Mason. So we like Meg too. We love Meg. Meg's been around the blockchain a few times, maybe at least once. I know I was on.
I think so.
Yeah. So all right, let's bring Wendy on.
All right.
I kept the queen waiting.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
I don't ever see you this early.
I know, this is weird, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's good to have you on. As everybody knows, Wendy is the #1 female crypto influencer in the world. That's right. She's the queen. Me and Wendy go way back.
We do.
Yeah, we do. We go way back. We basically started at the same time. We've been friends.
We
ever
literally,
since.
you know what I was actually thinking? You started in your basement.
Yeah.
And I started in my spare bedroom when I lived in the hood.
Yeah. And look at us now.
Yeah, it's really, really, really cool. But
Yeah.
I just want to say good morning to BitSquad. Thank you guys for having me. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. And I really like your community. Your community is actually pretty cool, pretty decent, pretty good
Appreciate
guys.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wendy,
And women.
And women. We love the women on the channel. We love the women. So let's talk about what Bitcoin is doing right now. Obviously, yesterday and the day before, we got pretty big pump. Now we've had a retrace. You know, it's so funny to watch the sentiment change. It went from we're definitely going up, the bottom is in, and now we just dropped down what did it drop down, just 3 or 4%, and now everybody's bearish again. And I think I made a tweet about this, about how you just can't flip your sentiment that quickly. That's why, even though everybody's saying the bottom was in, I'm still saying I think it's going lower. I think you agree. So what are we looking at right now for Bitcoin?
So, excuse me. So for me, these were the levels that we were looking for on my channel. We were looking for us to continue to follow this trend line over here with the swing wick low that occurred June 18th of 2022 when we hit approximately 17.6. And we kind of, we teeter-tottered, and we're just kind of balancing between this range. And the top area of resistance was approximately 21.8. And I do understand that there's a swing wick high there to approximately 22.4. But I like to look for breakouts. And I know that sometimes when we're breakout trading, you might not be able to get to maximize your profit that way. But at the same time, considering the type of market that we're in, we want to play things cautious and we want to be safe. So I was waiting for that breakout. And then we finally got that beautiful breakout that occurred July 18th of 2022. We hit our second area of resistance, like 23.6, and we called for a breakout. And with that breakout, we could have targeted 26.7. And with the breakdown, we are seeing that we're probably going to hit some of these low areas at approximately 21.8. Because when we're looking at market Cipher and we're looking at a lot of our indicators, we did have some sort of deviation that occurred here when we had that swing wick high. And you also have to remember yesterday, when people heard that news about Elon Musk, emotions dictate what happens with the market. You can have the best trading plan, the best investing plan, but it doesn't really matter. So when we take a look at some of the lower time frames, like the 12-hour chart, we're still correcting. The 6-hour chart, we're still correcting. But we did get a little bit of a mini relief bounce, and that also coincides with this with these two candle heads or candle butts put together at approximately June 15th of 22. So we're kind of teetering on this area. But when we take a look at the lower time frames at the 45-minute chart, you can see that we're in a downtrend now. And with the current market that we're in, it's important to pay attention to the hour, the 30-minute, and the 45-minute, in my personal opinion. So we're currently fighting very, very hard at about 22.4 here. We take larger time frames at the daily chart, it's not looking too incredibly great over here because we're I don't want to say free falling, but it's looking like we're going to get that retrace to approximately 21.9. This is also, I like to use this trend line just to kind of give me an area where we could hit. If we do get a retrace all the way back down to about $20,000, that's okay. But if we actually do break down below 20,500, then we're going to get in some really ugly territory because we really want to stay above this trend line. We want to stay in this upper part of the range. But we do have some support here at about 17.6, which would be the Hail Mary area. But I do want to show you this particular chart over here that I have drawn. Let me pull that up. One quick second.
Well, guys, while she's doing that, make sure to smash that like button if you love Wendy O. And also, if you love when we bring on guests and TA experts, make sure you smash that like button. Number one thing you can do to help the Bit Squad get this out to more people. And people need to know about crypto right now because now is the time to really be paying attention as we are deep in the bear market.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Now is the time to actually yourself. If you don't want to buy in now, that's fine. You don't have to buy in. You do what works for you. But now is the time to educate yourself and to pay attention to exactly what's happening. And this particular market is a market for traders. That's why when Ben, when you were talking about these 30% gains and these short-term moves, the small percentage of pumps that we see, you can long those, you can short those. There's money to be made. However, they're in and out positions, and you want to get in these and get out of these, and you want to have a more investing plan so you know what you're doing. But when we take a look at this chart, this is like my queen daddy mother chart over here because the levels have been immensely accurate. And we drew this chart back, I want to say back almost a year ago, the immensely accurate. I probably will have to adjust this area of support to about like 18.7 over here. If you look at this chart, we did hit this resistance at about $24,000. It's a pretty hard area of resistance to manage. And if we take a look at the EMAs, we've got some great support at approximately 21,000, some more support at 20,000 over here. So for me, for me to be bullish and for me to get excited, I would really need to see a flip above this $24,000 area. And a lot of people think, oh, we're going to get back in a bullish cycle. That's fine. We totally could. I do want to remind you, we do have the EMA 200 sitting at approximately $33,400 here. And in order for me to be immensely bullish with Bitcoin long term, I need to see an actual break above the EMA 200 and us to continue to climb upward. Obviously, the move is not going to be a straight shot upward to the moon, but this would be the bare minimum. And if in fact we do have some sort of melt up, I'm actually targeting approximately $30,000 to about $42,000, maybe even $40,000. It would kind of dictate what how much volume, how much liquidity is in the market to that move up, because we do need people to actively participate in the market. But I think a lot of folks are not feeling super excited. But again, we do got some really great support at approximately $20,000.
Well, there you go. Whitty, are you actively trading right now?
I'm taking some short-term trades here or there, but nothing. My biggest trade is going to be buying Bitcoin. And I'm not buying Bitcoin at these current levels. I started buying Bitcoin. I had limit orders set from $30,000 all the way down. I think my last limit order is at about $8,500. And the reason why is I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. I think that this is very similar to price action we saw in 2018 when we were in a straight downtrend and we kept testing that resistance area and we weren't able to break above it. But we haven't capitulated yet in any way, shape, or form. When I see capitulation to me is when we broke below $6,500 and we kissed $3,500 or $3,200. And you remember that was capitulation. Nobody thought we were going to break that $6,500 support. No one thought. So to me, that's capitulation. And I think we will actually capitulate around the $10,000 area. We might get some swing wicks low, but it's going to be straight ping pong, probably till closer to the halvening. Again, the halvening is a moving date, and Bitcoin mining economics are a very crucial part to Bitcoin price action. I think a lot of times that we forget, and that's why we have Seth Mind Your Biz, so he can explain all that stuff to us because he's good at it. But also, too, another interesting thing is when Elon Musk, or excuse me, Tesla sold their Bitcoin, they sold it at approximately $29,000. So it's almost like it was kind of priced into the drop because we had all the Celsius drama, the Three Arrows Capital drama, and it was all happening in that range, but it was all done behind the scenes. I don't know if it was done OTC, but it's good that that they had already sold the Bitcoin, that they haven't sold it now. And it's kind of bizarre to me that the market is reacting to Elon or Tesla selling their Bitcoin when it was done back in Q2, and it's already been done and completed.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned something about 2018, and I think it's really important, like, for people to understand, like, there's a reason that you and I both believe that the bottom is not in, because we've seen this, and it feels almost exactly the same as 2018 did. And the number everybody was talking about then was $3,000. And of course, that was a meme. Like, there's no way it was going to $3,000. Well, after it broke below 65, within a couple weeks, it was all the way down at 3,200. As you can see that on the chart there, when that time frame was. And that was true capitulation. And less than a month, I think about 3 weeks afterwards, I said that was the bottom. Because when you see the bottom, you're probably going to know. And so to me, $10,000 right now is like the meme. It's just like $3,000 was back in 2018. So, it didn't go all the way down to 3,000, but it went to 3,200. So I don't know, maybe it goes down to 10,500. I think exactly an 85% drawdown is $10,366. So that's definitely a number to watch. So let me ask you a question. Max, well, we got a comment here. It says, didn't Ben say yesterday the bottom might be in? It's still true. The bottom might be in. I don't believe
the
it's
local
in.
bottom. The local bottom. Take a look at this. Is a chart I posted on Twitter. I don't have the exact one on my stuff right now, but this is what capitulation looks to me, in my opinion. Like right now, and this is the Bitcoin monthly chart. When we're taking a look at this chart, look at the monthly candle that we currently have. It is currently a green candle, and we haven't gone sideways enough. A capitulation is when you absolutely hit a bottom and you go sideways. And it's kind of a hard thing to realize, especially when you're actively trading some of this stuff or when you're actively investing and looking at the markets. That is capitulation. It's max pain of going sideways. This is why I don't think we have found the bottom yet of the bear market. I could be wrong. I'm more than happy to be wrong. But at the same time, I feel like it's just a local bottom. I don't feel like we're done yet. And another thing that I do want to say that's very important that a lot of people aren't talking about, we have Three Arrows Capital that's in court, Celsius, Voyager, and all of these other companies. Three Arrows Capital, I think, owes about $3.5 billion to 27 different companies. These guys were all over the bull market. They invested in so many different projects, and they haven't been forced to sell any of those assets yet. What do you think is going to happen when there's court legal proceedings that are forcing them to sell those assets? What do you think they're going to do? They might be able to sell them OTC to minimize market damage. But at the same time, if these guys dump on the open market, what's going to happen to altcoins? It's going to decimate sentiment. It's going to decimate a lot of these projects. And it's something that I think that we should all consider. And I highly recommend BitSquad to go through your portfolio, see what you're invested in, and go to the website. And if the Three Arrows Capital was a part of that investment, consider modifying your trading or investing plan. Because if they are legally forced to sell particular assets, and depending on the way it's done, your portfolio could get damaged. So you want to make sure that you kind of stay ahead of this and you understand the consequences of holding on to these bags that this particular firm was invested in.
Yeah, exactly. And what a disaster that 3 Arrows Capital was. Just a bunch of scammers. I would argue on the other side of your point there that I think they're going to run and they're going to hide. And I don't know if they're going to end up having to be forced to sell those assets or not. I mean, they're already out of the country. So we'll see what happens there. It's like Voyager waiting on their payment from 3 Arrows Capital. I don't believe it's coming in. But let me ask one last question, Wendy, before we let you go here. I see a lot of people over here in the chat saying that I said the bottom is in yesterday 3 times. I said it might be because you can't know the future for 100%, right? There is a chance that we have bottomed. Certainly. I think it's much more likely that we haven't, but there is a chance. And you have to be fluid for both sides of the argument. So one thing that I said yesterday, Wendy, taking all that information into consideration, and the reason why I said, a little stronger it might be is because, market Cipher is showing big green dots on all kinds of the longer time frames. You go back, you look at 2018, 2014, we saw the same thing before it went up. But I still don't think it's in. Is it a good time to start accumulating anything at this point? I know you said you got buy orders for Bitcoin, but don't you think, like, if there is a chance we're wrong, that people are still going to want to have at least had some exposure at these lower prices?
One of the strategies I'm doing, and I've told my audience about it, is I have particular allocations of my portfolio for different types of investments or different types of trade. A trick I like to do is let's say I have $10,000 that I want to use to buy Cardano because I think Cardano is going to absolutely smash it during the next bull run. And I actually do think that. So what I would do is I would take 10% of my isolated stack that is disposable income, and I would probably market buy about 10%. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to quench the FOMO. Because let's face it, we're all human. We all have emotions. We all get very excited. We don't want to miss the boat if in fact this is the bottom. So I don't think that's a bad thing to do. If you go out, if you want to use that 10% market buy, makes you feel good. So you got some skin in the game, great. But then what I also like to do is I like to set limit orders all the way down to zero. And the reason why is because depending on what exchange you use, there can be some sort of liquidity issue. You can get some of those scam wicks that come down. And how great would it be to pick up Cardano at 1 cent?
Yeah, it happened
because there was an issue exactly. And that's why I think it's so, and I think that's practicing good risk management. However, there's some people out there that like to dollar cost average. That's your business. If it's something that works for you, great. But I'm more of a person that I want to go ahead and set limit orders because I want to dictate my buys. And I want to dictate what happens with my money. Because if I'm letting the market dictate, I might lose. I'm probably going to lose against the market. So I want to get the best things for the best price.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy, definitely. It's a way you can build in just making sure that you are accumulating at lower levels. You're accumulating on dips. You're accumulating on red candles. You don't want to buy in on green candles. That's the number one mistake probably that people make in crypto is the FOMO, buying at the wrong times. That's why everybody that came in last year is absolutely wrecked right now, because you came in during a good time. Things went up a little bit, buying on the green candles, and it worked for a while. But once it started going down, it was hard to let go. So, Wendy, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Look forward to hopefully seeing you in LA next weekend. And what's that?
It's going to be my birthday. We're going to have a lot of fun.
I didn't know if I was.
So if you guys want,
I didn't know if I was allowed to say it's your birthday. See, I don't ever talk.
See, thank you for. No, that's okay. Yeah, it'll be like my birthday week. So we'll go out, we'll go do fun stuff, we'll eat delicious food. I don't know. If you guys are in LA, come to the conference. It's gonna be a really great time.
Yeah, definitely. Love the conferences. All right, Wendy, we will catch you later. Bye.
Bye guys. Love ya.
Oh, I need to keep these on, don't I? We're going to TikToks. You ready to do that?
TikToks, let's do it.
Are they up? Did he? Yeah, I guess so. I guess I sent them all to him.
Should be good.
TikToks. Do the far out angle. I'm too close.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Fat fingered it.
There we go. Okay, let's start with the first one.
Bada boom.
I built my crypto portfolio last bear market and it changed my life. Here's my 4-pillar strategy on how I plan to get rich this bear market. Pillar 1 is Bitcoin and ETH. It's hard to tell which altcoins will still be popular next bull run, but Bitcoin and Ethereum have stood the test of time throughout each cycle. I'm a long-term investor, so I'll be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and ETH until we make new all-time highs. Pillar 2 is altcoins. It might seem easy to tell which altcoins will be popular in 2025, but if you would have tried to guess in the 2021 bull run based off of 2017, you would have said like Tron, on XRP and Litecoin. For this reason and the fact that most altcoins will underperform Bitcoin and ETH throughout the bear market, I'll just be studying altcoins until the next halving event, and then I'll be in the best position to make the best bets going into the next bull run. Pillars 3 and 4 are NFTs in the metaverse, but I don't have time in this video to explain, so follow for part 2.
There we go. That's the guy's account. This is the way we're going to do this. We're going to show the video, and then we'll give them credit afterwards. And if you guys want to go follow that person, you can see their username for TikTok. Also, don't forget to follow me, Real BitBoy Crypto. We're trying to rebuild the account. Our main account with almost 3 million followers is still in purgatory with TikTok, but we're still trying to get it back. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll do that. Like, it'll probably take a year to get it back. It's so insane. But making some comments on that video. I thought that video was very interesting because obviously everybody wants to know bear market strategies right now. And what he's saying is very similar to things that I've been telling Coin, at least. I think that's really good. But Ethereum, I believe, is the better bet for this next bull market. It consistently outperforms Bitcoin in percentage-wise. I mean, just look, from $1,400 to it almost got to $5,000. I think that's a bigger gain than 20,000 to 70,000. I think it's pretty close, but I think Ethereum won that a little bit over the last bull market. He's also talking about NFTs and metaverse. In the part 2 of that video, he goes on to explain that. And I think obviously those are some keys to be able to kind of supercharge your portfolio, but you have to be careful because obviously a lot of that stuff is brand new. And a lot of that stuff is, there's a lot of rug pulls over there. His altcoin strategy, I think, is perfect. It's dead on. Right now, you really only need to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum. I add in also, I believe, Cardano and XRP. You got the Cardano hard fork, you got the XRP case. Once that's over, we might be seeing a lot of sped up action on the XRP case here soon based on some events that we'll talk about. But the point is, I think that's a good strategy. You should not be looking to get into low cap altcoins right now. It is not the time because if this market starts to bleed bad, we get true capitulation, we are going to see altcoins at numbers you never thought you would see them at again. And because a lot of these altcoins did not get to the heights we thought they would get, it's definitely in the realm of possibility we could almost retrace the entire last bull market for a lot of these coins. So definitely something to watch out for. All right, let's go ahead next.
Let's do it.
But the main question is, are these NFTs? The first major brand to successfully launch an NFT project in a native Web3 way is Nickelodeon. Is it because they created the greatest show of all time in Zoe 101? Possibly. But the main question is, are these NFTs here to stay? Why or why not? I'm gonna answer these right now. First things first, they launched with one of the best NFT development agencies and platforms in the space, Recur. Recur works with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Care Bears, college sports, the biggest brands in the world. So if you're betting on people, these are the people to bet on. Second thing second, no one ever says that expression, but they included a really cool game mechanism in their drop where you can trade these NFTs for slime, which you can trade for other NFTs that are even rarer. So I like the game loops that they included in this drop. I think it's on the team to add utility to see if they'll last long term, but...
All right, I already got to the things I want to get to here. So what I want to say about this, why I thought this was interesting, is because there's something that a lot of you guys don't know about. I would be willing to bet many of you do not know the way that a lot of these large companies are launching their NFTs. They're not doing it like we would launch NFTs. They want them on closed ecosystems, which is very interesting. They do not want them out there on the Ethereum chain on OpenSea so anybody can go buy them, or soon to be OpenSea competitor that is going very well. You guys are going to absolutely love. But the point here is Nickelodeon did it in a true Web3 way. Like they did it just like any person would launch NFTs. But these large companies, Disney, Marvel, what are some of the other, there's several others on Vivi. They launch on Vivi because Vivi is a closed ecosystem and you can't take those NFTs anywhere else other than on that platform. So it's very interesting to me that now we're seeing some large companies start to experiment with dropping regular NFTs, and that one actually sold out for Nickelodeon. So good for them. They did some stuff right. But really the point of this was for me to tell you that, the big companies, they're not comfortable with Web3 quite yet. So a lot of opportunities when they do. Now, I will tell you, we've been talking to one of the largest companies in the world, for sure, a name you guys definitely know. Everybody knows. And we are going to be launching some NFTs along with this company. And we've talked them into kind of going on an open an open system as opposed to a closed system. So it would definitely be very interesting to watch how that plays out. Hopefully we'll have more information. Hopefully it'll be by the end of the year on that. It's when you're working with a large company, it's a lot of red tape. So we'll have to see what happens. You guys didn't know this. We launch NFTs as a service. NFTs as a service is something we offer. So, if you have, a big NFT project you're looking at, when the new platform comes out, I'm a co-founder of. When that comes out towards, I don't know, maybe the beginning of quarter 4, maybe end of quarter 3, somewhere around there. We're going to have our own platform to launch things on as well. So definitely something.
Coin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. 60% of the coins during the 2017 bear market did not make it to the top 10 in the next bull market a few years later. So if you invested in the top 10, 6 of those would have fallen by the wayside and lost ground over that time. 2 of those, though, are Bitcoin and ETH, which are by far the dominant players. So in reality, 6 out of 8 have completely lost ground and have been a waste. The top 2 coins, though, Bitcoin and ETH, are wildly dominant. If you take those out, 6 out of 8 of the top 10 have failed. My opinion on this, Bitcoin and ETH are going to dominate for a very long time.
It's back.
Bitcoin is the first self-sovereign money, and Ethereum is by far the dominant platform for crypto. If we look at the top 10 coins in the previous bull market versus...
Okay, so it looks like we had a lag during that TikTok. So let me basically explain to you what that TikTok was about. It's about the top 10 and how it changes and how your best opportunity are to find the coins that are going to enter the top 10. What I would say is that is very, very difficult to do. The closer you wait to the halving, the more clear things should be, but it's going to be impossible to pick the top 10. A lot of people wouldn't have had Solana or Dogecoin in the top 10. A lot of people wouldn't have had Filecoin popped up to the top 10 at some point. A lot of people wouldn't have had those in the cards. So something I noticed, now he did this video and compared the cycles, the bull market to bull market, and what each top 10 looked like, and said there was a 60% change. Just so you guys understand, I've done a lot of analysis on this. On average, since the beginning of CoinMarketCap, which I think was 2012, when they first started tracking it, the first week, I think they only had like 12 coins on there or something like that. An average of 40% or 4 out of 10 coins rotate in the top 10 every year. So year to year, January 1 to January 1, 4 of those coins will be different. And what's funny is you always have these strong feelings when you're watching CoinMarketCap and you're watching these the numbers and the coins that are in there. You feel like, man, I couldn't possibly see Solana falling out of the top 10, or I can't see Cardano falling out of the top 10. Well, we were saying the same thing about Litecoin. Litecoin, the most consistent altcoin of all time up until the last 2 years. Now it's not. It's been pretty much outdated at this point. So just something to keep in mind as you guys are, in the bear market looking for coins to accumulate. Top 10 changes quite frequently. So what a top 10 coin is today may not be what it is in the future. So, all right, let's go. Let me pull up this Coinbase story real quick. I want to pull this up. Coinbase insider trading. Let's touch on that real quick. 3 charged in first ever crypto insider trading tipping scheme. Former Coinbase employee allegedly tipped his brother and friends regarding crypto assets that were going to be listed on the Coinbase exchanges. How did they figure that out, I wonder? Well, I guess they just found the wallets. Damian Williams. What's that? Did somebody say something?
No, I didn't.
I'm hearing things in my headphones. Let's see. His name is Ishan Wahi, former product manager. Hey, you know what's interesting? Product manager. That's what Nate Chastain was at OpenSea. He was the head of product. So same exact position. Nikhil Wahi and Samir Rahmani with wire fraud, conspiracy and wire fraud in connection with a scheme to commit insider trading by basically telling his brothers and friends or whatever what coins were going to be on. The defendant made illegal trades in at least 25 different crypto assets. Wow, this is deep right here. This is really crazy. So this just broke, guys. So that's the actual filing from it's the SEC that charged them. This is now the second insider trading scheme that we've seen. And you've always wondered, in an unregulated market, how can they go after insider trading? Like, what constitutes insider trading within crypto? And I think it's becoming clear what their focus is. Now, there may be other focuses in the future, but for now, it seems like they're able to attack platforms and exchanges that have internal employees using basically corporate secrets to profit and to help other people to profit as well. And most likely, I would say not beyond a shadow of a doubt, but still not a 100% chance, because I can't say this for 100%. I can almost guarantee you that Coinbase had a similar form that OpenSea had, saying that their employees were not allowed to use stuff that they learned to profit from, or stuff that they knew to profit from. When they signed that document, it seems like that might be the linchpin to a lot of the stuff and being able to actually charge these people and find them guilty. So we'll see what happens. We saw what happened with Nate Chastain. All of a sudden, I told you when he went in, he's probably going to sing like a canary to get out or get immunity. A couple weeks later, we've got the one of the two founders of OpenSea stepping down. Is that a result of that? I mean, it would strictly be conjecture to say yes, but I definitely do think that that is a legitimate question to be asked with the timing of everything. And of course, now, Coinbase, we might see the same thing. I don't know. Will we see, this guy start talking about other people? That's usually how this stuff works. They're trying to go after the big fish. There's a reason why, Nate Chastain is not a big fish. Like, I think he did all that. I think he made like $100,000 or something like that. It wasn't even a lot of money he made. I mean, $100,000 is a lot of money. I get it, but enough to like risk your job, your freedom? No, not near that much. It had to be at least $1 billion, I think. I don't know what the number is. I guess it's dependent on the person. But you see, this isn't a big fish at Coinbase. The guy, nobody knew who he was. So we'll have to see what happens here. Thank you for the super chat. Kyle Cox, he says, I believe Ergo will be the top 10 underdog created by the devs of ADA and Link. Awesome project. Yeah, definitely a lot of, favorable stuff out there about Ergo. One we like. I don't love, but I like. I think it definitely is one to watch. Okay, moving on here. Let's see. Well, let's find the Wall Street Journal story. We'll start here. A recession alarm is ringing on Wall Street. Unfortunately, I can't move that over. What is this?
Yeah, I was just wondering the same thing.
What?
Little animation.
Okay. All right, whatever. Wall Street's most talked about recession indicator is sounding its loudest alarm in 2 decades, intensifying concerns among investors that U.S. economy is heading towards a slowdown. What? Yeah, of course it's heading towards it's already slowed down. Like, it's not that hard, guys. Indicators called the yield curve. It's a way of showing the interest rates. Right now, what's very interesting is the inverted yields, to where you're actually making more money on a 2-year bond than a 10-year bond. And that doesn't make any sense. That's why it's called inverted. There was a good video that explained that I almost used for TikToks, but I thought it would have been, I think, above a lot of people's head. It was above my head, really, honestly. Ben, do you think, go back, let me see the super chat. Ben, do you think a layer 1 like Proton or Quant can rise up and overtake a Polkadot or Avalanche? Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. To say that they couldn't would be crazy, because they can. Now, will they? Better question. Polkadot still has a lot to show. Avalanche, it's definitely one that to watch in the next bull market, I believe. Did it already kind of have its biggest move? I'm not sure, but those are things to watch for. I believe they can. I mean, look, nobody thought Solana was going to be up there. Slim Pickens super chatted, our staked ETH on Coinbase lost if they go bankrupt. Everything you have other than dollars, because you should be able to get your dollars back because those are FDIC insured up to $250K. But for actual, coins, no, I don't think you're going to get that back if Coinbase goes bankrupt. But I also want to reiterate, I do not believe that they're going to go bankrupt. I don't think they are. I think they're smarter than that. And they're the biggest in the space. They work with a lot of regulators. Whole different animal than Celsius. But still, all that being said, you don't want to have all your money on there just in case, So definitely get a hardware wallet or a hot wallet on mobile. And that's where you should be keeping the majority of your crypto. That's never been more clear. So back to the story. On Wednesday, the yield, it's exactly what I talked about a second ago. The yield on 2-year Treasury notes stood at 3.23%, above the 3.03% yield on 10-year notes. A year ago, by comparison, two-year yields were over 1 percentage point lower than the 10-year yields. And for that, if you didn't know, like the higher the yield, the worse it is the way that works, which kind of backwards from how you would think. Such nervousness is also reflected in other markets, Stocks in the United States have fallen close to 17% so far this year as investors reassess companies' ability to withstand a slowdown in the economy. Price of copper, a global bellwether because of its use in an array of consumer and industrial products, has fallen over 25%. And the U.S. dollar, a haven in periods of worry, is at its strongest in 2 decades. On Wall Street, the most commonly referenced part of the yield relationship is between 2 and 10-year yields. But some economists prefer to focus on the relationship between the 3-month bills and 10-year notes. Let's see. Where does it say the numbers were? I didn't actually give those numbers, though. Yeah, here they are. 3-month yields remain below 10-year yields. So by this measure, the yield curve has not fully inverted, but the gap between them has been shrinking rapidly as concerns about a slowdown have escalated. So you guys can see here, tracking these. If this were to pass this, that would be extremely bad. We would definitely be in inverted yield territory. You can kind of see in January of 2019, it dipped below. And then, of course, that started a big collapse of the other two. You can see here, it went below in April of 2020, obviously during the pandemic. And then it slowly separated. Right now, the gap is still pretty far. So we'll have to see with what happens there. Some analysts and investors argue that the attention on yield curve as a popular recession signal is overdone. I don't think it's overdone. I think it's pretty much always tracked along. So just saying, if you have a financial advisor, they should take all that into consideration. So there you go. Then European Central Bank here, they just raised rates for the first time in 11 years. So the United States is not the only one who is raising rates right now. And the European Central Bank hasn't done it in 100 years. How crazy is that? This has to be a result of the euro being about 1-to-1 with the dollar right now. It hasn't happened in 20 years. And, something to watch here, what's going on in Europe. They hiked it 50 basis points, higher than any analyst had expected, marks a departure from the zero rate interest environment since 2016. So we started raising our rates again, I believe, in 2014, we did a little raise, and we raised it over a few year period and then didn't raise for a while. But there you go. So the front loading today of the exit from negative interest rates allows the governing council to make a transition to meeting by meeting approach to interest rate decisions. All right, moving on here. Tesla. You guys want to talk Tesla? Hey, who wants to talk Tesla? I would not drive one of those things. My life depended on it. No offense if you have one. No offense if you have one. I know people like them. People who love them, love them. People who love Elon Musk, they love it. They will not sell him out for anything. I did a tweet yesterday where I said, y'all still like Elon or not? And a lot of people said yes. Like, they don't care. They love him. They idolize him. They worship him. A lot of people worship this guy. And it's weird because you don't see this with Jeff Bezos. You don't see this with Bill Gates. You don't see this. Warren Buffett a little bit you do. But you don't see people worshiping these CEOs. But for a lot of people, Elon could do no wrong, and whatever he does is correct. And so if he does it, it must be right. And, this guy, he's just, Wendy said yesterday on the show and around the blockchain, he's just a troll. Like, that's what he is. He's a troll. Did he ever intend to buy Twitter? Did he ever? I don't know if he did. What's also interesting is to watch when all the Twitter stuff was going on comparative to that Tesla Bitcoin sale, around the same time. So I don't know, maybe he was trying to make some money on that or show some profits to be able to raise the stock price, to be able to sell and use for that. But it definitely is, something to pay attention to. I'm sure we'll get more and more information about this slipping out over the next few days. Excuse me. Tesla's interest in Bitcoin has been decried as a distraction and a sideshow for the electric car company. But when a widespread pandemic lockdown in China forced Tesla to shutter its Shanghai factory for 22 days in April, it became a lifeline. The shutdown impact on Tesla's business was severe enough that the company sold off 75% of its Bitcoin holdings to bolster its cash reserves. And I believe if I'm correct, that the quarter two, where they did this in, with this Bitcoin sale, they were able to show that they were cash positive for the quarter. So that might have been a likely motivation for a lot of this. But regardless, definitely had an impact on the price going down. Steep investments in new factories alongside with lower car sales caused Tesla's operating profits to drop nearly a third last quarter, the biggest drop since 2019. Despite Tesla's recent challenges, executives projected optimism about the remainder of the year. Musk emphasized that Tesla's factories in Shanghai and Fremont hit record levels of output in June. As a result, we have the potential for a record-breaking second half of the year. Can we open that door? That's why it's so hot in here. Yep. So the point here is this, is that when it comes to Tesla, they were never interested in the long term of Bitcoin, obviously. I wish you guys knew how hot these lights are. That's all I can do not to die during every show. But, you know, they're not the beacon of everything that's right in the world like a lot of people think that they are. You know, Elon Musk, obviously the figurehead of that. And are we going to see, what's going to be really interesting to watch, okay, is we are now seeing a pretty dramatic effect on the housing market from the interest rates. The interest rates getting raised means the mortgage rates go way up. And when that happens, people can no longer afford down payments. They have to get much, much larger down payments. Now we're going to have a lot of houses that don't have people to buy them. We've also seen the used car market has been out of control, and the new car market has been great. Are we going to see that start to flip back again? The interest rates, surely, for buying cars are affected by the rate hikes as well, I would assume. So now people are not able to get the same interest rates there. Somebody can correct me in the chat because I don't know anything about selling cars. But obviously, you know, mortgages are affected, their interest rates. So I'd assume the car payments are as well. Are we going to have an overinflated supply of new vehicles after we had way too much demand and not enough supply? Now, is that going to flip? Because look, in a bear market, when economy's down, especially if it's as doomsday as people believe that it's going to be, hopefully it won't be. But if it is, you know, people aren't going to be going and buying new cars. You're not going to go buy a new car if you're, you know, all of a sudden your portfolio is down 50%, or you're getting laid off at your job. So definitely something to watch here. Did Tesla make a profit on its Bitcoin investment? The sale is believed to have been made around a price of around $29,000. I saw 2888 or something, I think, higher than the low seen during the quarter. Elon sold 75% for approximately a 17% loss and around 27.5K. If my back of the envelope math is correct. And it gained 272 million in quarter one for Bitcoin sales. So I guess it's kind of flat in dollar terms. So basically what they're saying is their sale they did earlier, I guess it was it quarter one? I guess quarter one, they sold off 25%. Didn't they sell some off last year? I was pretty sure. What they're saying here is it's basically a wash. They're pretty much even because of the profit they made then. Andres Aquindo says, hey, Ben, any suggestions on where we can store HBAR safely? Ledger doesn't allow you to transfer HBAR into it. I would have to look that up, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. Somebody could drop in the chat if they could, where they could. Hashpack to store HBAR can connect it to your ledger. I don't know anything about that. That's what one person suggested. Definitely research into that before you go do that. According to various estimations, Tesla held around 42,000 Bitcoin heading into the second quarter. After selling 75%, they have 10,500 left. Moreover, the $936 million of proceeds from the sale would indicate a selling price of around $29,000 per Bitcoin. Some speculate Musk has also had other reasons for selling off some of the company's massive Bitcoin holdings. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Tesla net cash flow of $847 million is misleading. $936 million comes from the Bitcoin sale, which they were just probably even on. Seems like Elon Musk asked their accountants to make sure they have positive cash flow this quarter. That's what I was talking about earlier. You know, this is a little bit of smoke and mirrors, possibly. They've never announced the purchase of Doge. Doge, I'll tell you what. It's amazing. I've been seeing some TikToks about Dogecoin and Shiba. There's still delusional people out there. There are people out there that are still extremely delusional about the guy was saying that Shiba is the next Bitcoin. Guys, a guy told me, tried to convince me for an hour that Voyager token was the next Bitcoin. It wasn't. Shiba is not the new Bitcoin. Okay, don't think that. I believe Shiba will not do well in the next market. I think people are going to take such big losses in this bear market that they're going to be much, much, much more careful about what they invest in going into the next market. And I think you're going to see that reflected on this channel as well. We're not going to be as risky. We might have some, keeping in mind only 5% of your portfolio We might have some that we're going to say this could be a good low cap, but we're not going all in on low caps. Again, you only want to have 1 or 2 of those in your portfolio at the most, and you want to be very selective with the ones that you put in. And I think obviously when we were doing videos where those videos were just super popular, like everybody wanted these top coins lists. And I think we really did ourselves a disservice by doing so many because, you know, like you should really only be in 1 or 2. So we should be more selective, even if we believe something is possibly good and has a lot of potential in the short or long term. If we give you 100 of those, then what are we really doing? You know, so we're going to be much more selective with those, you know, and we will reflect some of that in those sample portfolio videos that we're going to be doing and showing here. Probably next week, we're going to get that going. How much more can my portfolio go down? Manny El Presidente? It can go down 100%. You know, that's how far it can go down, you know, go to 0. But in reality, I mean, if we're judging off where we think Bitcoin will go from here, and you look at overall portfolio, if you're mostly in altcoins per se, look, you go down another 60, 65% from where we're at right now. I think it is possible. Will we see that? I don't know. Definitely think 50% is possible. But you do have to always keep in mind the angle that, you know, Wendy and I can both be wrong. We can both be wrong. Maybe we did bottom. Maybe we did. I don't believe we have. I say that every time. I don't believe it. I think it's more likely we go down. I'm going to say that until we eclipse $40,000 probably. Because I want people to understand that it's not a for sure one way or the other right now. Interesting story here. Mojang Studios bans Minecraft NFT integrations. And this is pretty much broke a project for sure. On Wednesday, Minecraft's developer Mojang Studios said that it would be excluding the integration of NFTs alongside blockchain technology as a whole in its popular namesake game. They say, like any digital file, NFTs can be copied, moved, or even deleted. Additionally, well, that's the whole point. You should be able to move them from game to game, right? NFTs and blockchain have also been associated with price speculation. Oh my gosh. This is so stupid. Like, this is so dumb. Because people can make money on NFTs and on crypto, it's a bad thing. Now, obviously, you lose money too. A lot of people have lost at this point. But if you stick this market out a few cycles, you're almost guaranteed to make money, in my opinion. I can't say guaranteed, but that's how I feel in my personal opinion about my own portfolio. The uses of NFTs and other blockchain technologies create digital ownership based on scarcity and exclusion, which does not align with Minecraft's values of creative inclusion and playing together. So what are they saying here? Are they saying that they feel like because some NFTs may be expensive and certain players can't afford them, that all of a sudden, you know, this is a bad thing? Is that what they're saying? That's a terrible argument. Like, my kids get a lot of money to spend on V-Bucks on Fortnite. They have a lot more stuff and items than probably the average kid does, you know? They nickel and dime me with it too. I don't give them like $500 to spend, you know? It's $30 here, $20 here. It adds up though. I mean, I guarantee you I've spent probably $5,000 on V-Bucks over the last 3 years, probably, at least probably, if not more. Is every month they're like, I got to have this one thing, Dad. I'm like, I'm a sucker. You know what I mean? I love my kids. They're good kids too. So, you know, I'm more likely to want to give them things. And they appreciate it. They're not ungrateful. So does that mean that, you know, that's exclusion because my kids can afford more skins than maybe somebody else's? And to use that as an argument against NFTs, it just shows how far ahead of everybody we are right now. And even some of the big technology companies and gaming companies are also very behind on the times. The company also criticized the speculative pricing and investment mentality around NFTs that take away from the game experience and encouraging profiteering to the detriment of long-term game playability. Guys, this metaverse we're going to have in the future, it's not going to be the next year. It's going to be dictated by all this. You're going to be able to make, the point is, in gaming, you're going to be able to actually make an income probably in the next 10 to 20 years, just gaming, finding items. The world is moving digital. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. Future movies that are futuristic, they generally tend to come true. Ready Player One will probably come true. Now, it doesn't have to mean we're living in a dystopian world at that point, but a similar world to that. And why is that? Because if the human brain can imagine it, we can develop it, right? Like, think about when Da Vinci was drawing pictures of helicopters and, like, I don't know when he was around, maybe the 1500s, maybe? Let's look that up real quick. When was Da Vinci born? I was close. 1452. So he lived to be, how long did he live? Was he alive in the 1519? So he was alive in the 1500s. I got it, guys. I got it. Just wanted to make sure I was correct there. But anyway, so Da Vinci, yeah, he was drawing pictures of helicopters and flying machines. That is much crazier during that time than for us to imagine us living all in a metaverse, right? That's way crazier. Look at Minority Report. I know that looks insane, but we just had a report a couple weeks ago saying 90% of all crime is predictable within a 300-yard radius. That's insane. So the more things come true and, or come to fruition in technology, the more things that we see are possible. And it seems like these gaming companies, they're so focused on the now, they're not seeing what is to come and the inevitability of a lot of this. And it all comes from Gen Z and younger. Like those people, I don't know what they call the generation after Gen Z, if it's even started yet. But what you're going to see is they value their digital lives more than their real lives. That's not being reflected by gamers right now, because gamers right now are still rejecting this stuff, right? It's not being reflected yet, but the digital life is more important. They care more about their characters on Fortnite than they do action figures for sure. So the point here is that it's going to happen, and blockchain is the way that it happens. And a lot of these companies are going to be missing out on big opportunities because they were scared to make the wrong stand here. And something else about this here, here it is, NFT Worlds. This is a project that, personally, we haven't talked a lot about on this channel, but it was supposed to have integration with Minecraft. That was the whole game, that you could build on top of Minecraft in NFT Worlds. But now they have had to give an update that they were blindsided by this, that they had talked to the company or people at the company, and they said, yeah, you guys are good to roll on this. It's going to happen. You can integrate. Now it looks like it's dead. So what does this mean for that project? They're having to totally recalibrate and punt. And it just shows you, and we've been dealing with a situation ourselves, I don't want to get into right now, to where we were told some things that we would be able to do. And then at the last moment, it got rug pulled from us. And it is something that, when you don't get signed documents, when you don't get all your P's and Q's sorted out, and then you launch and start moving forward with something, a project or otherwise, there's wrinkles that can happen. That's why we tell you guys that nothing is guaranteed. I only have these super chats. Ben, I created Janet Yellen NFT, inspired last year. Want to gift it to you for Christmas. You can send that to info@hitnetwork.com. Crypto Cyclops says, Ben, are all wraps the same or specific to the network they're wrapped on? Hope this isn't a stupid question. Any risk to wrap on a network? Wrapping seems to be fine. The whole thing is each wrap is for each network, right? So you got to have wrapped Bitcoin for Ethereum. But then you also, like, that same wrapped Bitcoin won't work on a different network. I don't believe each network will have its own standard way of wrapping it, because what it's doing is it's taking your asset, it's turning it synthetic, backing it by the real asset, and then placing the synthetic asset on chain. So each chain has to have its own. Corey says, hey, Ben, when you say the reversal of diminishing returns, does that mean exactly what it sounded like, with appreciating returns than the last run? But it sounds like with appreciating returns than the last run. Well, of course, your returns, bull market over bull market, are going to appreciate, right? They're going to go up in value. But what we've seen so far is, just for instance, literal numbers here. 2017 bull market saw a 17.8x, I believe it was exactly. 17.8x return from the previous 4-year cycle all-time high. So that would have been from, I think, like, what was it, like $1,200 to $20,000, I think is what that was. In this last bull market, we only saw 3.5x from the previous all-time high of $20,000 to $70,000. Therefore, the percentage of returns diminished each cycle so far that we've seen. And the same thing applies to the very first cycle as well. So the theory is that we're always going to constantly see the rate of percentage of return for Bitcoin and just Bitcoin specifically for this. We're going to see it diminish over every cycle. I don't believe that's true. I think we can actually see a reversal of that, and diminishing returns will no longer be valid 100%. They may still, over time, we may get the majority of bull markets may have diminished return, but we're going to see outliers that have a higher return appreciated than previous cycles. So this one I definitely think is lining up for that, especially because of the weight of this bear market and the fact that now you're going to see the dollar at super high strength and super low inflation as we start moving, because, it's going to reverse at some point, guys. It's going to reverse. It's not going to keep going up forever with the rate hikes. Some people speculate this month or next month, we will see the first drop down, though the pendulum is swinging, even though the numbers aren't reflecting it. So what that means is that this could create more quantitative easing and a gigantic, basically Bitcoin at the bottom would be Bitcoin also at the bottom of the dollar's highest strength, or Bitcoin at the bottom price-wise, but dollars at almost an all-time high. And when that starts to reverse, you can see how that could supercharge this next bull run. I definitely believe it's possible. Gamer Dr. Disrespect is developing an FPS game on Polygon with NFT characters that we already received. That's cool. I like Dr. Disrespect. I think he's a pretty interesting human. Board 8 Whale loses $150,000 of ETH and ENS listing fumble. Be careful with that, guys. Be careful with that stuff when you are having to set your own price point for things. We've seen a lot of bad transactions. There's no going back. Seeing gaming, Final Fantasy's NFTs coming to Polkadot and Square Enix, Engine Alliance. We're going to run through the story pretty quick. One of the most successful video game series of all time is set to receive the NFT treatment in 2023. So one game is bullish. Square Enix is partnered with blockchain gaming firm Engine to release NFTs based on the Final Fantasy franchise. The Affinity blockchain, one we talked about last year, project we were invested in the private sale of that. The Affinity blockchain runs on Polkadot as a parachain or a dedicated subnet of sorts. It's all part of the Polkadot ecosystem, ramped up its blockchain and NFT endeavors the last couple of years. And I think this supports something that we've been told, which is there will be a lot of money flowing into Web3 relatively soon. Gamers plug into DeFi through the new Razor rewards partnership. Gamers and customers of IT and gaming hardware firm Razor set to plug into the world of DeFi through a new reward swap program in partnership with Cake DeFi. Razor gamers will be given exclusive access to Cake DeFi yield generating service and the launch of the collaboration. Cake DeFi operates out of Singapore, and the platform has generated $317 million in staking rewards. Be careful with staking rewards. That's what I'll tell you. Be careful with staking rewards. You only want to stake on chain at this point. I don't think you guys can. At this point, you can't trust any out there. Coinbase, if you want to make some returns on your ETH2, I mean, it's available to you there. They take 25% off the top, but you got to figure out a way to, stake on chain. It's the only safe thing, to be honest with you guys. Do you believe we'll get higher all-time highs on alt's next bull run? Yeah, I believe that we will. I believe this one got cut short for a lot of reasons. I believe next one will be much better. Ben, do you leverage trade like Crypto? He actually reached out to me yesterday for the first time in a while. Love Chris. He's a great guy. Yes, I do leverage trade. I haven't leverage traded in quite a while, but we're about to get that going again. We're about to get that going. We're going to be doing it on Femex. We're going to have some deals for you guys if you want to participate. We're going to be showing the trades. I don't fudge around with the trading. I show you all my trades. I show you how to do it and how to win. We won very consistently in 2021, the first quarter, and look to do that again. We're going to go lower leverage this time, just because we feel like it's, we don't want people duplicating. I can trade higher leverage and I can win. I've proven that, but the average person doesn't. I know a lot of people, when they basically look at trades, they say, oh, Bitboy's in a long, so I need to go long right now. Well, you may not understand the entry point of that trade. And when people do that, if they're doing higher leverage, you'll get absolutely crushed. So I don't know exactly what, maybe 5x max, maybe 10x. 10x is pretty high, but to me, 10x is low. I'm a 25 to 30x trader. That's what I like to trade at. That's 25x is really my sweet spot. It gives you enough room to where you got some wiggle room. You can set some good stop losses. It's good to take profits, but then also if it runs, it is going to rip. And I love that, but it's not the safest thing for everybody. I lost a lot of money in the early days doing it that way. More recently, I crushed it and won to the point where I cashed out 7 figures. And so I don't think I'll ever be down again as a trader. I don't think I'll ever lose $1 million trading. So a little more house money. And the thing about gambling is, you're always, if you play games that you have a losing odds, over time, you're going to lose. Obviously, the market is wildly fluctuates. You can use proper risk management, but if you just keep doing the same strategy that's risky, it has a lot of volatility time over time, eventually you're going to lose. And so that's what happened to me last year. We turned $80,000 into $1 million, then we turned 10,000 into 100,000, and then I lost the 100,000. So and then I quit trading for the most part. So moving on here, we've got World Economic Forum is now hiring a blockchain and crypto lead. So there you go. If you want to join the WEF's team as a sneaky snack, is maybe a little canary bird that wants to come sing to old BitBoy, tell me what's going on in the World Economic Forum, then you can do that. Definitely would be good to get a spy in there. World's largest telecom community company, AT&T, to educate users on digital assets. There you go. We're just going to have to run through this real quick. XRP worth millions of dollars continuing to flow into exchanges and wallets now directly from Ripple address. If you're in the XRP army, make sure to throw the X up so we know you're here. And make sure to smash that like button if you guys like XRP. We love XRP. King Solomon was great yesterday. I loved having him on. He did a really good job. We've got several other XRP influencers or community members going to be coming on the show here pretty soon. Suspicious activity with XRP tokens first spotted on July 15th. Continues to this day. Will alerts said 60 million XRP worth 21.86 million were sent from Ripple's address to an unknown wallet. 3 hours later, the same amount of XRP was sent from an unknown wallet to Bitso, a global crypto exchange based in Mexico. The anomaly-filled days for XRP began last Friday when the token's trading turnover increased 12 times in 2 hours. Then, with the start of the next week, suspicious activity was spotted again with XRP moved on multi-million-dollar transactions from wallets to exchanges and back in short periods of time. So what is that? Is that potential wash trading? Is that what they're maybe alluding to here? Moved a lot over to an exchange, wash traded it for a while, and then brought it all back out? Maybe, potentially, could be. Because I don't really know why else. I would love to see the numbers that they sent in and brought back, because it sounds like according to this article, it wasn't like they sent in a bunch and then brought half back. It sounds like they moved it all out. Very interesting. XRP, Fox Business Senior Correspondent says SEC is losing its lawsuit against Ripple. John Deaton, who's we've had on the channel several times, has been closely following and commenting on SEC's lawsuit against Ripple. He explained to Fox Business why the SEC is angry with him. We talked about this yesterday a little bit. They're trying to force him out of being able to be involved in the trial to speak on behalf of XRP holders. This is known as, I think, the amici is the phrase for that. I think that's how you say it anyways. So yesterday, let's see, he said, yada, yada, yada. Basically, let me tell you what happened yesterday, basically, because this is very important stuff. And this is why I say that this case could speed up quickly, because what we've seen is that, for the most part, this has stayed in-house with the SEC. But now you're starting to hear other politicians chirping about it. You're starting to hear other politicians like Brad Sherman, the weasel, as we call him, fire truck on his head. We want to roll it around the cul-de-sac. He said, basically, that he thinks XRP should be a security. He kind of later on said that's not exactly what he said on the thread. And then Jeremy Hogan just ratioed him like a mug. It's funny to watch. Brad Sherman, he had 200 likes on the post, and when I saw it, and Jeremy Hogan had 2,500 likes on his comment underneath the post that he made. And so we got Tom Emmer on the other side saying the SEC is not doing this the right way. So we're kind of starting to see the political sphere get more involved in this case. And everything's speeding up. You've got XRP or SEC trying to push John Deaton to the side here, try to get rid of his ability to speak on behalf of the XRP holders. So a lot of moving parts right now, and it seems like we could get some speeding up of some stuff here pretty soon. It is getting hot and heavy. Now, when is it going to end? I've predicted, not based on any information, just what I've seen from what we're looking at here. At first, I said probably Q3 this year. Then it started looking like Q4. Now it's looking more like Q1 of next year. It feels like it's always 6 months away. But sometime between January and March next year, I think is when we'll see it. And that could be good, because that means we will have hit a bottom for a lot of different assets, much better than running at the top. All right, let's go ahead and run over, pull up some Q&As here. I'll read a couple titles. Goldman Sachs settles first 2 security lending deals. Crypto savior FTX is raising fresh capital. Valuation of $32 billion. Well, look, a lot of that money is going to go to Solana and FTT, I believe. VC pumped $29 billion into crypto markets in 22 despite market crash. Told you guys the VC companies haven't really slowed down. They're still looking to invest. At this point, blockchain.com cuts a quarter of staff, more layoffs. All right, let's just do one or two.
Okay. We've got from Deej, or maybe DJ, DEJ, is the news about KuCoin raising $10 million bullish or scary? That's a good question.
Well, for them to be able to raise that money, they have to be able to show their books and their assets to the people that are investing. I believe, right? Like, would you invest millions of dollars into a company that there's been rumors that it's insolvent without checking the books? So I would say, in my opinion, I think that gives me more confidence. Now, it could certainly be indicative of them having some struggles and needing to raise some money to kind of make sure they're not running at like a break even, that they're able to kind of get out in front a little bit, especially if the market drops considerably more. Could potentially be some reason for some concern, but I would actually say, depending on who made the investment, that actually would be pretty bullish news for KuCoin.
Nice. Okay. Next is Ben. Do you expect a lot of selling when ETH 2.0 can be unstaked?
Yes, but that's 6 months after it launches. So I think, we could see something similar to what we saw in 2015, where Ethereum ran up way high and then dropped extremely low, and then started to run back up again towards the end of the year, or started to run back up again, into 2016 into the 2017 bull market. We could certainly see something like that, to where Ethereum gets a big run up off the merge, and then we get a big dump when that happens. But I think a lot of people, if the price is moving up, certainly people will sell. But you got to remember, these are not miners. So miners are forced to sell from the Bitcoin halving because they've got to create more. They have to be able to get more infrastructure to support their mining. That's why the supply shock is such a big deal. Whereas opposed to this, people that are staking are more on a long-term plan. So that could potentially be why we might not see it. But I definitely think there is a potential there. Somebody said also, I saw in the chat, where's TJ? TJ is on vacation this week. So I guess nobody's ever mentioned that. He's gone the whole week, so should be back Monday. So no big deal. He's got to spend some time away from me sometimes. He has to, for his mental health, for sure. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate everything. You guys don't forget to go support our bill that we're pushing in California. SJR 16. We're going to be talking more about that over the next several months, giving you guys updates on that, where that is. I'm going to put some stuff out on Twitter probably later today or tonight about it. Hey, BitSquad, you guys are making this happen. We are going further than anybody ever thought we could go in crypto, even in a bear market. It's a good time to do it. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.